Hello and welcome. Oh, that's a bit, let me stretch that. I had a bit of a problem with my setup this morning, so I'm on a different camera, which means I can't actually move it terribly because it's my laptop camera. So that kind of doesn't work. Let me just get rid of that. So, how is everyone? Morning, Claire. Gosh, I need to be wearing my bifocals. My vision is getting worse by the day. It's been really cold here today. It's just got to freezing. So I'm wearing lots of layers. I may have to take some of them off as we go through, but you never know. Let's just make sure that everything else is looking all right, which it is. So that's good. So this morning we are using Rainbow of Happiness. So lots of ideas for that. Morning, Nora. I'm going to start with my usual housekeeping bit. So today is Tuesday, the 18th of January. It is just gone 11 o'clock in the UK. If you are catching me live, you will see a live button in the top left-hand corner. If you're catching me on replay, which is almost as good, then you won't see the live button in the top right hand corner, but you are very welcome, and if you wish to leave a comment, please do that by leaving it below the description bar, and I will get back to you when I can. But do obviously realise that I won't be reacting as if it's live because it will be a replay. So I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the UK, working across France, Germany, Austria, the Netherlands, France, Germany, Austria, the Netherlands, and the UK. So if you need any Stampin' Up products, please do consider shopping with me. The links are all in the below in the description bar. And now I can relax. There's a whole bit of stuff going on about the fact that if you are running a business, that means that you are, when you're running videos, it's almost like it's advertising. We have to say that it's advertising. So welcome to my advertising. So as I say, I'm using Rainbow of Happiness. I'm also doing a Slimline card. I've got two quite different projects prepped. I know the fact that I've got them prepped is a bit of a gobsmacker for me. So when you join, do let me know where you're joining from, what time of day it is, and that sort of thing. I know both Claire and Nora are in either the UK or Ireland, so the time is 11:05. So yes, it was -6 when I came in here this morning. It was the temperature in my studio was 7 degrees, and I've been wearing fingerless gloves all morning, which I have taken off for this because fingerless gloves are not the most attractive thing to have. Anyway, I'm going to flip the camera down. Do remember to like if you enjoy the video, and if you don't already subscribe, you can do that by clicking in the bottom left hand corner of the screen. Hello, Kay, haven't seen you for a while. Nice to see you. So my eyesight is going worse by the day, I tell you. So Rainbow of Happiness, I'm going to be doing some heat embossing. Other than that, it's mostly die cutting, which I have already done, but I will be doing some heat embossing. Hello, Priscilla from Indiana. So I'm going to start with a card that's sort of in Neutrals Plus, and I'll explain the plus as we go along. So I've got a crumb cake card base, an early espresso layer, and I'm going to start with the early espresso layer, and I just need to get out one die so that I can size things. I'm so pleased it's nice to be here, Kay. You have been missed. So I am going to have my rainbow to one side. I'm not into great, let's have everything square all the time. Not necessarily something we want to do. And, oops, I'm going to just add some embossing buddy that we don't do anymore to that, and I'm going to stamp a sentiment. Actually, I'm going to change the sentiment. I'm going to change from "You make me happy" to "You make the world a better place," because I want it to be up and down rather than long and thin. Yeah, You Make the World a Better Place is the one I'm going to use instead. So what's everyone been up to? It's obviously the middle of Celebration, and we are getting to the middle of Celebration. So lots of freebies around, which is always lovely. Embossing powders. I think I'm going to go white. I've just realised I was actually going to use a vanilla card base. I'll take away the crumb cake one. I'm going to use a vanilla one, which is why I'm hesitating to use white embossing. I'm going to go gold, I think, instead. Clear, black. Why is it always the last one you get to? So gold embossing powder. I think I might roll one layer of sleeves up. So yes, lots of freebie stuff available. I know in the South Pacific it's the middle of the night there, I think. There's been limited supplies of quite a lot of the Celebration items. Oh, and for those of you, I'll come back to that bit. But yes, so if you do catch this on replay and you're in the South Pacific, I'm sorry. But I know that everything is on its way, so that's always good. We've got currently all of the Celebration items are available in Europe, so that's good to know. I can't speak of North America because I don't know, but I have some Stamping Up chums who are in South Pacific, so I do get to hear these things a little bit. So I'm just going to add, I might do one down there, and then one there, and one there. Right, so that's my Versa marking. So now I just need to do my dabbling with embossing powder, because these are only small bits. So, lots of people joined. Morning, B. We've got a troll. Morning, Margaret from Melbourne. Oh, there's me just saying that that I doubted that anyone from the South Pacific would be with us. Report. Sorry, I just needed to get rid of someone. Oh, and another one. Dear oh law. Report. Good. Hopefully that'll be it for a while, at least until I can get my embossing powder on. I believe that other people are able to remove unwanted comments as well, so if you see one, do feel free. But yes, Melbourne, gosh, it must be the middle of the night still, Margaret. Isn't it? Or very early in the morning. One or the other. So I'm just going to grab my trusty cheese board and heat emboss these bits, and then I'm going to make up the card, which, having done the die cutting, is not going to take that long to do. Got a busy old week this week. So those of you who have ordered shares, I've nearly finished packing them up. I hope to get those in the post later today. The only one that I'm missing is the On the Horizon, which isn't in Europe yet. It's not in the South Pacific either, but I haven't done a marvellous job with my embossing buddy, but never mind. So this helps to keep the card a little flat. Oh, it's only 10 to 10 in the evening. Okay, so not too bad. Getting late, but not the middle of the night. Yes, I probably need to switch over my embossing buddy. I do have a new embossing buddy. In fact, I have a couple, because when we knew they were going, I bought a couple. So that's my basic mat, or layer, depending on how you look at it. As I say, I'm going to use a vanilla card base. So I've got my vanilla card base here. Once upon a time, there it is, I had a bone folder. So this is going to go on there. I'm going to use quite a lot of adhesive because it is a little wibbly. But before I do that, I'm going to build my rainbow. And I've got Calypso Coral, So Saffron, Crumb Cake, and Petal Pink. So those are the ones I'm using. And I've used them with some of the adhesive foam. I'm going to build, I think actually I'm going to build from the outside in. So all I need to do is peel the outside out of my rainbow, and I just want to position that. Is that straight? That looks sort of straight. Oh, my nail varnish is pinging all over the place. That'll be irritating me later. So there's my first piece. So next pieces obviously go inside of that. So peel off my crumb cake. Now these go through the cut and emboss without any problem. I cut these on the small, the mini, and they cut really easily with the foam on the back. So do have a look at the foam if you want to do anything popped up. Oops, what I like to do is put the ends down first. I'm a bit under the whatnot. Let's come this way a bit. So I like to put the ends down first. That's not right. And that's why I like to put the ends down first, because until you've pushed it down, you can get there. Hello, Pam. Been looking at the wrong... Got on Facebook by mistake. Yeah, no, don't be. I'm not a great fan of Facebook Live. I mean, one of the reasons I moved over to YouTube Live rather than Facebook Live is because Facebook kept throwing me out of my own lives. Morning, Jan. So I've got those two. Next is So Saffron. So again, this is already on the foam sheet. So I just have to peel it out, find the two ends, like that. It's not completely straight, but it looks okay. 50 degrees. Okay, I can't remember what 50 degrees is in centigrade, but I know it's not warm. Probably a little warmer than -6, but then we're not in Florida. So there we are. There's our nice little rainbow. I might put a piece of ribbon on there. I'm trying to think what I've got that would be right to put on there. That's the right sort of width. Oh, I know, which is gold as well. I've got this one, which is, what do we call this? Fine art ribbon. Yeah, because that's got kind of that crumb cake tone as well. So let's use that. So fine art ribbon is obviously in the annual catalogue. So I'm just going to turn that over with the ribbon kind of roughly where I need it. And then I'm going to grab some Seal Plus, the really sticky one. And this is my preferred adhesive for sticking ribbon down. So I keep squinting down because having had a couple of spammers this morning, I just want to make sure we don't get any more. Right, so that's 5 squares up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So just pull that taut and pop that in, and then we've got that nice little bit of ribbon there. And then I'm just going to add some more Seal Plus to the back of the ribbon, because that helps keep the ribbon encased. And then the rest of this, 10 degrees centigrade. Oh, well, that's quite warm. Good heavens. I mean, it's 2 degrees here at the moment. But I know for Florida that would be quite chilly. So yeah, I'm going to use quite a lot of adhesive just to help keep it flat. Like that. And pop that in place like that. And then I'm going to press from the back. I just scuffed, so I need to, yep, no, that's all right. So what I would be tempted to do now is to get a really nice heavy block or two and just kind of hold that in place. So I'm going to pop that there. Don't need those bits anymore. And then pop another block there just to help keep everything down. So that's our first card. The second card, as promised, is a Slimline card. And again, I have pre-die cut. Now this is going to be a bit of an experiment, but it's fine. Now the layout is courtesy of a Dutch demonstrator, Janneke, and I can't remember how her surname is pronounced, but anyway, Janneke. She was one of the artisan design team last year, and I saw the layout, but I've changed it a bit. So I'm using some of the rainbow foil from the annual catalogue. I'm also using the supple, I don't know why we call it supple, but supple shimmer. This is the pale or iridescent pool party. And then I'm doing it all on a black base. But first thing I need is to add some adhesive, because I want everything to sit into my card or my layer. So I'm just adding to the back of this, and I want this all popped up. So this is going to go on black dimensionals to pop it up on the front of my card. But I do want adhesive to stick everything to. And I'm popping it on the silicone mat so that I don't stick to my grid paper. And I'm using tear and tape because it's a nice strong adhesive and is easy to adhere. I'm going to leave the backing on so that I don't end up with sticky back. You could use ordinary sticky back tape, but tear and tape, I have a sticky back tape, but it's a removable one, so I'd really rather use a stronger adhesive. So that's all popped together. Would be even better if I hadn't got tear and tape on my fingers now. Okay, so I'm going to start with the Amazing, and I'm going to pop out the bits that are holes, for want of a better word. So holes in the letters, and I have saved the holes from the black, which I will then insert. So this is going to be the kind of easy bit. And again, this just went through my mini cut and emboss because it's narrow enough. So I'm not going to push it down really hard at this stage. What I am going to do is put the lid, woo, not fly everything everywhere. Actually, they can go there anyway, that's fine. I'm going to put the lid on so I don't end up spiking myself. So I know this piece goes into the G, so let's pop that into the G. And the easiest way for me is to pick it up with my sticky end of my Take Your Pick. And just pop that in there. What set am I using? Right, so I'm using a mixture of, so it's the Rainbow of Happiness bundle, so Brilliant Rainbow dies and the Amazing Thanks dies, which are the ones that go with the Amazing Silhouettes. So it's a combination of both of them. So this is my Z. That is the G. And I will just pop that into place there. And then the A's should be, she says hopefully, interchangeable. But you do want them the right way up. And by right way up, I mean both from an up and down and from a front and back. So when you die cut, you'll see that the front edges have a nice round finish to them. There we go. So I can now that I've got all that in, I can now rub that to make sure that it's well stuck, and I'll do it from front and back. So that should all be nicely stuck. And of course you've still got your black Amazing to use on another project. And then it's simply a question of this is the rainbow shimmer paper from the annual catalogue. So I've just cut as near as I can the right colours, because it's ombre. It's not that easy. Now the other thing that you could use are the individual ombre shimmer papers, because you've got some nice colours in those as well, or a combination of the two, but this is the rainbow paper. So I'll get these in place and then I'll give them a proper push. And again, I'm going to do that from the front and the back. Let's just pull that down so it's in place. Get my bone folder and pop that in place. And my card blank. Hello, Wendy. It's funny to hear Z. Yes, because I know it's Z in the States, isn't it? But you're not naturally American from memory, I think, Jan. Bit parky there. Well, it was -6 with us when I came in here first thing this morning. So, yeah, parky's one word for it. Right, now, inevitably, I've got small black dimensionals out, but not large ones. So let's get some large black dimensionals. I can also use some of the edge pieces. But, right, so this is going to go on to the front here to be there, and I will be adding some gems. Haven't quite decided which ones yet, but I will be adding some gems. But first of all, I'm going to add my dimensionals, and as I say, I'm leaving the back on the tear and tape because I just want it there as a nice strong adhesive. I didn't know if I liked these rainbows, as they're not quite the usual shape. Oh, well, I'm glad I've inspired you, Pam. But no, they're a bit slightly skew whiff, but they're really pretty. What I haven't done yet is use the rainbow stamps. I've used the words that go in the shape of the rainbow, but not the actual stamps. So let's just peel the backings off. Am I the only one that thinks the black dimensional backings are slightly trickier to get off than the ones off the white? But the foam is a little thicker, and I think that's what it's... Oh, thank you, Wendy. Yes, thumbs up is always nice. I have to say, I've had some really nice cards in the post. I must do a post about cards in the post. But I've had some really kind cards from all over the world, which is always lovely. Now, of course, the dimensionals aren't really going to be particularly happy sticking to the back of the tear and tape, because the tear and tape is a non-stick surface at the back. But with a little bit of persuasion, you should be able to get them to stay in place long enough to actually stick them down. And once they're stuck, they're doing their job, which is to support the front of the card. Now, I have to say I didn't do the economic version of cutting a slimline card for this, so I have cut it at 8.5 by 7, which means you have to use a whole piece of A4. Obviously, for those of you in North America, you only have to use you only have to cut the top off, because your paper is 8.5 by 11. So there we go. And as I say, I'm going to add some embellishments, and I'm tempted by the iridescent. No, I was tempted by the iridescent. I'm wondering whether the in colour jewels might be the way to go, and I think they might. I think they're not the right colours, but I think they're near enough to the right colours that we'll get away with it. So let's have a go. So I'm just going to put them in, you know, random places. But we've definitely got pink, we've got yellow, we've got a violet and a sort of green. Could use this green instead. I think they're good enough. Morning from southern Ontario, Canada. Gosh, that must be quite chilly. I'm guessing. Ooh, fluff. So I'm going to do a bit of colour mixing. Might go for one of the soft succulent ones. So we've got a little cluster there, and let's go up here, because otherwise it's going to look quite stark as a design. Actually, I think I'll go that way, and that one's a soft succulent as well. So these are large. This was a large and too small. And then I think we'll have some more, no, actually down there. So I'll have 3 little clusters of embellishments. And we'll stick with the same colours. So there we go. So just amazing. Hello, Karen. Jaffrey, New Hampshire, with temperatures below freezing. Well, yeah, we were this morning, but we're above freezing, just above freezing now. We've got freezing fog, which is always fun. So it's a bit of a short video today, mostly because I prepped. What I might do just to fill in, so these are the 2 cards that I was planning. What I think I might do to fill in is actually use the rainbow stamps. So I've got a white card layer, and what I want to do is show you how I would use these stamps, as in literally how I would physically use them, because we have a bit of an issue with these because they're floppy. So I would always pop them down on my paper first and just let them do their thing. Now I know I'm going into the headshot there. The Slimline cards are great. Now that we've got the Slimline envelopes, so here's our Slimline envelope with some nice black stamping on the inside, that fits perfectly into our Slimline envelope. -6 Celsius. Oh, and lots of snow. Lovely. Yeah, I came in here at -6 this morning, but as I say, that for the UK that's quite chilly. Nora loves a Slimline card as well. I do. I like a Slimline card. I'm glad we've got the envelopes to go with them as well. So I'm going to let that all relax. Now, I don't think that's going to fit onto that size block, so that's fine. I've got an E block here. So this is my largest stamp, and I'm just letting it relax and then picking it up. And that way you're more likely to end up with your hoops being the right size. Don't know if I'm going to get both of those. Oh, I will. See that I moved. So let me pop that down again and let it relax, and then I'll pick up that one instead. And then we'll pick up this one. Like that. And Sending a Rainbow of Happiness, I think fits on one of these. Or does it fit in the gap? Oop. Can't remember, to be honest. I think it might fit on that one. Yes, it does. Right, so I'm going to leave. Whoops! I'm going to leave that to relax as well. I used this for my thank you cards for December, so it is quite stretched. So it needs to relax, and it's also very fluorescent. So let's pick that up. Now, because I want to use this, I know that I'm going to have to use paler colours or heat embossing. And I think I might go for heat embossing, and I might go black, which is going to be quite risky, but let's see how we go. Right, so brand new solid photopolymer stamp needs prepping to get the finish off it and to give it a key. So white eraser, your hand, any of those things will do. I quite often do all of them. That's got a bit of fluff on it. There we go. So now whether you work from the inside out or the outside in is pretty much up to you. For safety's sake, I'm going to go from the outside in, and I'm going to go off center again. So all of these are off center. I'm not a great one for central. Well, I mean, I am, but not all the time. No, I'm definitely going to go this way. So red. I am, so red, yellow, green, blue is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go in the brights. We've only got 4 colours to use. I think my Poppy Parade may need re-inking. Yep. Excuse me one moment. Let's see if I can find it quickly. Probably not, knowing my luck. Poppy Parade. Not too bad. There we go. So I need a bone folder, an old plastic bone folder. So to re-ink, I'm just squeezing my ink onto the pad, and you can see when it sinks in, you can see that it's dry. That's always a clue that it is quite dry. So let's pop that in. It's going to be a bit mottled to begin with. While it sort of settles down, it will eventually spread out quite nicely, but to begin with it will be a little less even. And then I just grab a wet wipe to clean that off, and because it's a plastic bone folder that I don't really care about, it comes off really nice and cleanly. If it was something important, of course it would stay there forever. Right, so that's better. Apart from the fact I now have a splodge there. Come on, thank you. Get rid of that. So this may not be the cleanest stamping I've ever done, because having just re-inked, it's not always. So vaguely straight. Now, what I should have done is put my piercing mat behind it, but let's see how we get on. Oh no, it's all right. So I'm liking the off-center. A, it helps with the spacing, and B, if it's not exactly where you'd intended it to be, it doesn't matter, because off-center, deliberately off-center, looks deliberate. Slightly not in the center looks less so. So red, yellow, let's go Mango Melody, which I think I have recently re-inked. Yes, I have. But only recently, so again this is a bit splodgy, mottled, but we'll make it work. That's better. Find a nice inky bit. And having said what I really should have done is bring in my piercing mat. Let's bring in my piercing mat. It's a strange idea. Now I'm looking just at the bottom. I'm not too fussed about the top, because if the bottom's in the right place, the top will be. Famous last words. There we go. So it's quite an orange yellow, which is fine. So Mango Melody, so red, yellow, green will be Granny Apple, and then blue will be Pacific Point. Let's move those two out of the way so they don't get inky. So Granny Apple green. No, that's the wrong one. I'll clean that in a moment. This is the Granny Apple green one. So again, I'm looking at the base, not the loop. Because if I line up the legs, the top should look after itself. So let me just grab a piece of scrap paper and stamp that off before I clean it and then go into Pacific Point. Now obviously you could, if you're doing the same sort of colours, you could use Daffodil Delight. You could use any colours you want. I'm thinking for the Mango Melody, you could use Daffodil Delight. But yes, any colour scheme you fancy would be good. I don't often use Pacific Point. Don't know why. It's a lovely colour. There we go. So a really nice bright rainbow. And where did I put it? There it is. Oh yes, I'm getting quite warm now. The heating is beginning to kick in. Right, so that all needs to be dry before I can heat emboss. But we can speed that up two ways. Let's get rid of that. Let's grab my little friend. So let's start by blasting. And then I'm going to run the risk of stamping that over there. Yeah, that works. Right, so I need black embossing. And yet again, it's the last one I get to. It's always the way. So embossing buddy, and you definitely don't want flecks of black where you don't want them. I have got a brush to hand if I need it. And fingers crossed. So again, I'm going to look at the ends, not the middle, and just hope for the best. And again, I should have kept my piercing mat in place. But that looks pretty a-okay actually. So let's grab some black embossing powder and dribble that. Need to do it a couple of times, I think. I think what I might have done is overpress. So I've kind of lifted out the centre of the letters, but it'll work. It will work. I'm going to need to brush before I heat. That's not the best brush for this, that's the better brush for this. So, nice soft brush. And all I'm going to do is just brush over the surface, brush off there as well. So I'm just going to get rid of any obvious black flakes. Like the tip to match the ends. Yes, you can't look at everything at once. So if you match the ends, the rest is going to take care of itself. Right, so let's heat. There we go. Now I am going to just give this a bit of a blast at this end as well to try and even it out a bit, and also blast the back. Just helps if you heat more than one area. So there's our sending you a rainbow of happiness. We are going to need something else on the card. So we need something kind of here. Now what have we got that we can use? We could use the hearts again, or we could use the raindrops. I think I might go for raindrops actually. And I'm going to bring in balmy blue. So let's take that off there and bring in some balmy blue, which I know is out of the family, but that's fine. So this is just to help make it not look quite so obviously one-sided. So raindrops are smaller at the top than they are at the bottom, so let's have, and I'll do 2 lots, as in 2 generation stamping, and I like odd numbers, so we've got 4. I might have 1 over here, and then 1 there, and then just 1 more for odd number sake. Except I want it 2nd generation, so let's stamp off. And actually I'm going to go off the top, just so that it doesn't look quite cement. So we'll pop that onto a card blank. Let me find a card blank cut already. Let's see what we've got. Oh, we've got Pacific Point. Let's go Pacific Point. As we've got one. There's me saying I rarely use it, so let's use it. And I'm wondering, have I still got to hand? Nope. Oh, yes. I want the narrow ribbon. This is from the Playful Pets. Just a little bit to go across the bottom there because it looks a little bit bare otherwise. So again, let's line it up on the grid paper. Seal plus. And do go right on the line, I think. Morning, Barbara. I'm going to cut this end a bit shorter, but I do want a reasonably long end, purely because it's a narrow ribbon, so a long end works better. It's going to be easier to catch. And again, let's add some more over the top so it's encased. Now, normally I would use liquid glue here. You could put the little cloud die cuts at the bottom of the rainbow as well. You could do, absolutely. You can have those just there. There's also the punch, because we've got a cloud punch as well. So yes, normally I would use liquid adhesive to stick this down, but I don't like liquid adhesive that much on the back of white. So either of the smooth, so either the vanilla or the basic white. I could just see it, that's the problem. And the only reason I'm adding more adhesive than I would usually is because we've done the heat embossing. It is a little wobbly, so if we give it a bit of extra adhesive, that will help to keep it flat. But yes, the clouds would be really nice down there. So let's It's not quite square, but it's near enough. So again, push from the back. You get a nice, good bit of adhesion, and now we've got a flatter card. Now, if you're worried that this is pinging up a bit, you can use glue dots. What I want to find is a shorter piece, and I'm just going to add my usual little knot, and I will cut this down. But I just wanted something below the rainbow. Could well have used the clouds, but we've got the ribbon now. And although this is, I think, actually real red, because it's a narrower ribbon, it's not as in your face the wrong colour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we are. So there is an on the spur of the moment, and of course we've got, which I can add into the mix, our clear and silver epoxy stickers. And I'm going to use some of the clear ones just to add into the mix of the raindrops. So literally just in the middle of each of the clusters. Just so there's a bit of something else interesting. And I keep forgetting we've got these. Hello, Sally from Georgia. Good morning. And welcome. I think it's the first time, certainly first time I think you've commented, so you are very welcome. This is the unplanned card. And there we go. So there are our finished cards. So we've got pretty much every sort of card. We've got a slimline, we've got a landscape and a portrait, all very different, but all using the same basic bits. Obviously focusing on the Rainbow of Happiness. So I hope you've enjoyed those. I'm going to just flip up the camera a bit more. Do remember to give it a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Let me just flip the camera up if my mouse would care to work. There we go. So not my usual camera for the face up. I need to find out why my little webcam isn't working, but we'll work on that one. Fortunately, if either of them was going to go wrong, the one that mattered went wrong. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Thank you, Priscilla. So 3 very different looks from one bundle. Just adding in the amazing as well. Thank you, Yannicka, for that idea. And yeah, and I have to say I really like the in colour jewels on black. Aren't those just... I'm showing you something you can't see. Let me show you what I mean. Look, aren't those just divine? I love those in colour jewels on the black. But anywho, it's on the order. Well done, Pam. So thank you very much indeed for joining me. I will be back again on Thursday afternoon, 3 p.m. UK time, where I will be using something from Celebration. So see you on Thursday again, I hope. Absolutely, Karen. Thank you very much indeed for joining me. Do remember to like, share, subscribe if you don't already, and I will see you again very, very soon. Bye.